People wake up every morning and organize their schedules around long-term goals. They plan for retirement or career growth as if their presence in the world continues indefinitely. Simultaneously, everyone carries the quiet awareness that their physical body follows a limited timeline toward an eventual stop. This creates a strange friction in daily routines. We act with the assumption of permanence while holding the certainty of a finite end. It is a peculiar state of mind where the calendar dictates our focus, yet the reality of mortality lingers in the background of every decision made. A sunset is like a fading memory, because it disappears from view despite the sun remaining physically present in space. We observe the light dipping below the horizon and conclude that the day has finished. Our senses tell us the event is over, yet our knowledge of planetary rotation suggests a different reality. The human mind encounters a similar split when considering personal cessation. We witness the visible breakdown of biological systems over many decades. At the same time, we possess no internal mechanism to conceive of a state where our own consciousness ceases to exist. We observe aging in others, which confirms the biological reality of an end point. However, we cannot project an image of ourselves being absent from the world. This creates a persistent gap between what we see in the external environment and what we can process internally. We exist within a frame that registers the end of others, but fails to map the end of the self. This mismatch forces us to live in two realities at once. One reality is grounded in the observation of physical decay. The other reality is anchored in an intellectual inability to visualize a world without our own subjective viewpoint present. Consider a person who reaches their middle years and begins noticing subtle changes in their physical stamina. They might look at their parents or peers and see the clear progression of aging. The evidence of a terminal biological path is undeniable when looking outward at the world. Yet this same individual feels just as present and alert as they did 20 years prior. They do not feel like a person who is approaching a finish line. They feel like the same observer peering out from behind their eyes. When they attempt to imagine their own life stopping, the mind creates a scene where they are still present as a witness to their own absence. They cannot truly strip themselves away from the mental image of their own death. This person continues to work and engage with hobbies with the same intensity as before. The disconnect between their physical reality and their internal sense of self persists without resolution. They live in the present moment while ignoring the logical conclusion of their own biology. I find that we often struggle because we demand a level of certainty that our minds are not built to provide. We want to reconcile the physical fact of death with our internal experience of being, but these two domains do not overlap. The body follows a set of natural laws that lead to an eventual halt. Our consciousness, however, lacks the capacity to verify its own non-existence. This creates a tension that defines the human condition. We are forced to carry this contradiction throughout our adult lives. It is not a problem to be solved, but a condition to be acknowledged. When we try to force our internal experience to match the external reality of mortality, we often fall into anxiety or denial. I believe that accepting this split allows for a more grounded way of living. We can honor the biological reality of aging while respecting the subjective feeling of continuity. We do not need to bridge the gap between these two states to find meaning. Instead, we can let them exist side by side without needing to force them into a single, logical narrative. Is it possible that our inability to imagine our own absence is actually the fuel for our desire to create and persist? We spend so much energy trying to align our internal world with the external facts of biology. Perhaps the goal is not to find a perfect alignment between these two things. Maybe the point is to notice how we manage the tension between what we observe and what we feel. I invite you to pay attention to how you view your own timeline this week. Do you find yourself leaning more toward the physical facts or the subjective experience? There is no correct answer to this observation, only a deeper awareness of how we navigate our own existence.